Cosby once said, "Human beings are the only creatures on earth that allow their children to come back home." We can all choose the friends that we'd like to live our lives with, but we cannot choose our families. Gatherings with our friends and relatives might seem a bit dull and boring to many, because we all would rather just hang out with our friends and just chill. But it's not as simple. Are you students aware of the fact that not only do family gatherings provide a positive experience, but are a crucial factor in producing a more successful and happy human being? I bet you didn't. I think most of us here have gone through a stage where they got roared at from their parents for either being out for too late or continuously asking them for allowance. They would use phrases like, "Are we a hotel to you?" or "Are we a bank? You're only back when you need comfort or money." But this rumbling in the household is the only way that makes us the honorable human beings that all of us students are. I can't actually say all. Darwin said, "Survival of the fittest is what helps us survive." But I say family makes us fit, because without them, life for each and every one of us would be in shambles. Families are like the bricks to a building. Families are like candy to an overweight child. Families are like Zach in's gym. Family in general are always attached to their children. When you need assistance, who do you call? When you need a helping hand, who do you call? Although all family is utterly essential for survival, my grandfather has been my favorite. He has been the inspiration to my rotation in life. He was always there for me. Let me just speak to you a bit about my grandfather. Patchy white hair, scattered old age spots, a protruding abdomen, and wrinkles on the edges of his eyes and mouth. My grandfather, Lutfi Jalbout, is a man of honor, intelligence, and discretion. In a time when Palestinians were being evacuated from their homes and had to care about finding basic human needs to get by, he was a little boy fleeing his home and countries with his siblings. This was happening to him while other boys his age in more privileged countries were thinking about what flavor ice cream they felt like having today. When someone's childhood is stolen from you, they miss out on many experiences, but they gain out on many others. From these experiences, Lutfi gained courage, maturity, and shrewdness all at a very young age. He had to work for everything he owned or wanted. Due to unfortunate circumstances, he lost his parents at a very young age, which automatically made him responsible for all his siblings, physically, financially, and emotionally. His childhood was taken away from him, and learning his story about he started out as a porter and becoming a successful businessman can only inspire his audience. His story and adventures were a topic of conversation at almost every family gathering. My parents, as well as my cousin's parents, used his story to try to kick some sense into us spoiled beings, as they called us, but failed most of the time, until the day it came from my grandfather. It was 2 years ago. I had just done poorly on an exam. My parents received a phone call from my advisor, and then I received a phone call from them. My mother was furious, and my father was calming her down. The usual scenario. It had never fazed me when I got a bad grade or disappointed my parents, because I was so used to being compared to my perfect sisters. So why would it faze me now? My grandfather, Lutfi Jalbout, the boy who became a man at the age of 16, the boy who sacrificed everything for his siblings, the boy who had nothing but at the same time had everything, called me. The disappointment in his voice made me feel nothing but disgust and shame with how I've been acting lately. He himself told me the details of his stories and hardships, and they all took place when he was our age now. His phone calls slapped me out of the coma I've been in for the past few years. I would like to convince you all the importance of family. There is always that one person that shows you that, despite what we all think. Family relationships is the beacon to our success. I, Hamdi Alaud-Din, now an assiduous student, an active participant in MUN, a compassionate person, a high achiever, and a person who has made all these changes in hopes of attaining an easier life than my grandfather once had, and prove to my parents the man I am capable of becoming. Lutfi Jalbout's protruding abdomen has opened my eyes to family, which opened my cognition to a prosperous future, a stronger personality, and an inspiration to make something of my fortunate life. Always remember this image that I'll now plant in your minds, because family is utterly essential, and you must remember this. Imagine a glass ball in my right hand, which represents family, and a rubber ball in my left hand, which represents work and friends. If I drop this glass ball, it will shatter. But if I drop this rubber ball that represents work and friends, it will just bounce back up. Family is something that is very sensitive. So do not spend most of your time hanging out with friends, because if that bond between you and your family shatters, it's very difficult to cohere back together. Thank you.